Today we're discussing the 3 things you should do before you start homeschooling. But before we start that, I'm gonna make some coffee. Now, I'm not really a coffee drinker, but my husband bought this healthy coffee. I think it's called Rise, and it's like a healthier mushroom type coffee. I'm gonna pair it with some non-dairy creamer. So let's begin. So the first thing you want to do is know why you're homeschooling. It's important that you have a homeschooling vision, and that would include why you want to homeschool, your top priorities with homeschooling, what short-term rewards you're going to have for homeschooling, because homeschooling is going to be hard. Nothing that's ever worth doing is going to be easy. So if you start homeschooling and the reason why you want to start homeschooling isn't strong enough, then when it gets tough, things get hard, it'll be so easy for you to just quit. And once you have this reason, you need to write it down. Having things written down is easy for you to go back and look at it if you forgot what you wrote or why you're doing this. The Bible even mentions that if you don't have a vision, you'll perish. That's so true, because if you don't know what you're doing and why you're doing it, you're not going to succeed, because anything worth doing is going to be tough. So you have to have your vision and you need to write it down. So on this homeschooling vision, you will have why you want to homeschool. Like for me personally, I know my experience with public school wasn't the best. First off, they're not really teaching you. I'm just memorizing stuff, or I'm getting left behind. She moves on to the next topic and I still didn't grasp the first one. And then also the children there. We don't know what the children are exposed to, but I will say a lot of children, they were doing way more mature things way before I did it. And at the age I was hearing about it, I should have known about this type of stuff. Then there's just a lot of peer pressure. Growing up, you really want to fit in with everybody. And if they're doing bad things, your child's going to be fitting in with the wrong crowd. That doesn't even account for bullying or mass shootings. And they aren't teaching the Bible at all either. Let's just say there's a lot of sin happening in public schools. Next, what you will have on your homeschooling vision is your priorities. So there's many different priorities you can have. It could be strictly academic. You could want to bond more and spend more time with your family, become closer. You could want to raise your children up knowing the scriptures and having a whole life raised around the Bible, which that's my reason. Or it could be wanting them to explore their passions and spark their creativity, or teach them life skills, because public schools don't teach life skills either. But any of those things can be included in your homeschooling vision, as well as how you want to celebrate any small wins, because you got to be able to keep yourself motivated. Discipline will always trump motivation, but if you're not able to find some joy about it once it starts getting hard, then you need to already know from the get-go, before you even start homeschooling, how you want to celebrate your small wins, because homeschooling is going to be tough. I'm just saying it because I don't want nobody to think it's going to be way easier, but it's definitely well worth it. And you need to know how you want to celebrate any small wins you're having, and that helps keep your morale up. That helps you get through those tough days, because tough days are going to happen, but every day is going to be a tough day. But those questions, as well as a few other questions you would for sure include in your vision, that would be the groundwork for everything you would do after that moment. Making a curriculum, buying a curriculum, or if you're talking about what homeschooling options you want to register under, homeschooling space, everything that you're gonna do, it will be based off of what your vision was. Once you have your vision in place, you already know what's for you and what's not. It makes it way more easier to decide, because there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of videos, a lot of articles, everything you can read. You can get overwhelmed. You might not know what you want to do, but once you have that vision in place, it sets you up for an easier decision-making process. The next thing you want to do to prepare for homeschooling is research your homeschooling laws. So after you have your vision, now it's time for you to know what option you want to register under and what laws you need to be able to keep. You don't want to start homeschooling and then never notify the state that you were homeschooling. Like, no, then that's what they call that, treason. Is that treason? Or truancy? It's something like that. You don't want to be there. You don't want to have to go to court because your child basically missing school because you never said you were homeschooling. And while you're homeschooling, you may be required to keep attendance. You don't want to go the whole time you're homeschooling, never keeping track of what days you actually did homeschool and which days you didn't. And at the last minute when it's time for your form to be due, you're trying to put some dates together and make all the numbers add up. You want to already know what you need to do beforehand. And so there's a whole bunch of homeschooling laws out there. Even when you go on the website, it's not always the clearest to understand what exactly you need to do. It might just list it out very briefly. But I created a guide about homeschool laws and regulations. The point of the guide is to help you not get overwhelmed, like looking at all the different laws you need to keep. It helps you with knowing, once you see what laws you need to keep, you can easily know what you need to do because I broke down what each one means. I also included every state's direct link to their homeschool laws. So that helps a lot with not knowing where the official site is for your state. And then you're able to find what emails you need to send different documents to or what address. So this guide really puts you in the right position to make sure that you're following all your laws for your state before you start homeschooling. So this guide covers all the homeschool laws that you need in order to start homeschooling legally, as well as record keeping. So you want to also know what records you need to keep and different ways you can keep them, and then you can pick which one is best for you. Because you don't want to not be keeping records and copies of things, and then at the end they're asking for your child's work, or they lost the document and then you don't have any copies saying that you turned in what you said you turned in. So that definitely helps keep things from being complicated and chaotic, and you don't want chaos. The guide also goes into different homeschooling options because depending on your state, there could be up to 5 homeschooling options. And a lot of them have weird titles because they all mean different things. So definitely check out the guide. It's in the description below and it's free. So you don't have to pay anything for this. And it's here to help you not start homeschooling already overwhelmed with what you need to do. You get all this information for free because it's here to help you start your homeschooling with confidence and worry-free, not doubting yourself. So check it out. The third thing you want to do before you start homeschooling is to talk to other homeschool mothers. So anybody you know who already been homeschooling. If you don't know anyone personally who homeschools, then I recommend trying out Reddit. I like using Reddit. I definitely got on there when I got pregnant, and basically everybody who was pregnant at the same time as me, we all just talking about different symptoms. Even now they still be on there and everybody's talking about if their child has teeth or if they're crawling. It does make you scroll, and I don't be trying to scroll on social media all the time, but I do like it. If you join the right type of groups, then it's really helpful, and you can join some homeschooling groups and you're able to search in each group whatever question you have and see what previous people already asked these questions. So it can be as specific as your state, or you can ask your own questions and people can respond under there. Reddit kind of different because it's more anonymous, since people are sharing personal things and have problems and such. Nobody has like a real first last name profile picture. It's not like that. It's just more like a forum. And you can read what people do to solve different problems, and you can message people on there as well if you need to do that. But I like reading stuff, so that's fine with me. You want to get in some type of contact with somebody who's already homeschooling, because like I said, there's going to be hard days, but you don't really know what type of hard days or what could you expect until you talk to someone who homeschools. They can tell you their experience with different laws. You can find tips for different problems. It really just helps you know exactly what you're getting into, what you can expect. Even with my birth, my midwives, they prepare me for anything. I talked to them and they basically had PowerPoint presentations on all the different things to expect for pregnancy on each stage, and even for birth, labor, complications, all of that. So during the actual labor and birth, when certain things would happen, I already knew what to expect. It wasn't like, oh, what's happening to my body or anything like that. So definitely talk to someone. It'll help you prepare so much mentally and physically for homeschooling. So don't start homeschooling before you do these 3 things, or else it's just like jumping in a lake with no life jacket, no boat, no scuba gear, no swimsuit, just barefoot in the cold water, and you didn't even know it was going to be cold. So definitely prepare yourself for homeschooling. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely check out this one. Bye.